Hello, thanks for checking in again. This is Lori with Care Partners Resource, and this is my wrap up of my April CAREthartic conversations. Today we just did a conversation, open questions, answers, and the key conversation that came up a lot was around communication and how important words are to make sure that the relationships that we have stay positive and we get our point across and our needs met, as well as others getting theirs met, right? And so, one thing that we talked a lot about is when we are caring for someone or around someone who maybe is ill or maybe has a dementia, it's so important to remind yourself that they are no longer the person that they were before, that they've changed, right? And so you have to meet them where they are. Last month I talked a lot about that and grieving the loss of who they were and meeting them where they are. But we also need to remember that communication is key. And when you're in a situation where you're caring for someone, you want to make sure that everybody that's involved in that understands the needs of your person you're caring for and your needs. And the best way to do that is to be clear about what you need. And a good way to do that is therapeutic writing, which of course I'm going to talk about. List making. List making is great. Make a list of the things that you want to say. I bet you didn't even know that list making is a type of journaling, but it is. So if you have someone that you're meeting with, whether it's a physician, a therapist, a family member, and it's a difficult topic or something that you really are, a lot of times we have to have these conversations where we're really not even comfortable talking to this person because you're worried that it might go south or they may not agree with you. Write your topic down and then make a list of the things, the key points that you want to make sure that you talk about. Another great way to prepare for these conversations is to do a dialogue journaling. So a dialogue write, as we call them, is where you sit down and you have this conversation with that person on paper. Okay? And you write it just as though you were writing a script or as though you're having a dialogue. So you might say, let's just say, for example, the conversation is around a family member who isn't helping as much as you feel they should be helping. So you want to have this conversation with them, which is great because you have an expectation of someone. But if you don't voice that expectation, how is it that we expect for it to get met, right? So you want to make sure that you voice those expectations. But a lot of times we're fearful to do that because we don't want the kickback. Okay, so a dialogue right helps you have that conversation and prepare for the pros, the cons, the good, the bad that can come out of that conversation. So you start with the topic, which is you're not helping as much as I thought you would. Okay, so you start with, you write me or you write your name, but I would say me. Can we have a moment to talk about what I need your help with? Then you're going to say whomever, family member that you're talking to, and they may say, what do you mean my help? I help all the time. Me, I don't feel like you're helping. Where I need help is, and whatever, and then you say family member and you respond for them. So the key here for this type of a journaling or a dialogue write is to allow enough time. and to stick with it. So the first 7 minutes is going to feel a little contrived. It's going to feel silly, fake, whatever. But keep with it, because after about 7 minutes, your brain kicks in. You feel a shift. Sometimes people's writing changes. Sometimes we may be writing like this, and all of a sudden we turn the paper and we're just writing like crazy. So it really makes a shift in your brain after 7 minutes, and you will find the conversation begins to flow. The key there is after about 25-30 minutes, you stop your journaling, you read what you wrote, and then at the end of that, you write for another maybe 3-4 minutes, and you start with reading this and you can either say, I recognize, I realize, I am surprised by, just something that gives you awareness about the dialogue. And that helps you understand maybe your fears, or helps you steer away from something that you don't want to talk about, or maybe you've become very accusatory in your write, and you recognize that that's not going to be positive. That's not how you want this conversation to go with that person, right? Another example is if you are concerned about something and you want to have a conversation with your the person you're caring for's doctor, but you're worried about it because you're not sure how it's going to go. Have that conversation on paper first, so that you're prepared for that dialogue with that physician, or whatever healthcare provider, or it could be a spouse, it could be anyone that you're a little concerned about having that conversation with. Sometimes it really helps to do, even if you are not wanting to have the conversation with that person, but you're constantly going over these thoughts in your mind, have the conversation on paper, and it helps get it off of your mind, and it helps you feel better. And maybe by doing it on paper, you realize, this is something that I need to talk to this person about, but you're better prepared for that conversation. So anyway, that's a quick wrap up of our CAREthartic conversation for April. And remembering that communication is key and words matter. And I hope you will log in to our CAREthartic conversations next month. You can find out the information about when they're scheduled at my website, which is carepartnersresource.com, or check me out on Facebook at CarePartnersResource. And I give a lot of different writing techniques, prompts, a lot of information on there. Or when you're on my YouTube channel, which hopefully you are right now because you're checking out this video, look at some of the past CAREthartic conversations or Tuesday talks outside the box, and anything else that I have posted on there. I've got some good videos that I did with AARP, so feel free to check any of those out. And if I can help you in any way with writing techniques or self-care information that you're looking for, feel free to reach out to me at Lori, that's Lori, at carepartnersresource.com. Thanks so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.